Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the WP Masters here on Apex Racing TV. We're live from Autodromo Enzo Dino Ferrari, also known as Imola. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Marco Barbonaro with Dennis Branch in the commentary booth. Marco, we're here in Italy. We're here at Imola, and we got some V8 action going on.
Oh man, it's going to be great. Hello everyone, hello Austin. This is one of my favorite track and car combination on the surface, and it's going to be great fun tonight. Perfect combination. The way these cars, slip and slide, and they are really sensitive to the weight transfer, and the undulating track with a couple of very hard braking zones and twisty sections like Acque Minerali can really make for a fantastic show. I absolutely cannot wait.
Yeah, and Imola is one of those tracks that is just so tricky to master. I remember running here in an F3 car. It's just absolutely just knife edge from start to finish. And in the V8, that knife edge is pretty much a giant katana right now because these guys, they have such a small margin of error.
They absolutely have, and that's why I think we have a great amount of drivers on the racetrack for the free practice session, which will be 15 minutes long, as you can see on the top left of your screen, and familiarize with the track and basically get yourself acquainted with the racetrack, because it's always a nice thing to do, especially again when it's with this car and this track. You want to get you want to be as ready as possible.
So we're watching Jonathan Shelby, who's just looking at the track, and there is classic Imola right there. That secondary chicane, you can enter it at so many speeds, but it's all about that exit right there. And yeah, I'm gonna have to say that's a killer corner here.
Every corner here is going to be very, very tricky for these guys.
Yeah, Jonathan, massive lockup heading into that double left-hander. Robbie Teagan's putting up the fast time in that Ford. Hard brakes though for that first chicane. There very nicely. And the Ford sporting that sticker HUD up at the front of the car, which I always find hilarious whenever I just move my camera up there.
I absolutely love it, man. It's great. As fan of the Blue Oval, of course. And I think, if memory serves me right, that it was not included in the car originally. It was added later by iRacing. So, nice touch, probably. Better identify the car from the onboard, because of course the Holden have that like little screen on the in the inside of the car, where in real life they cycle to the sponsors. And I think on iRacing we just have the Holden logo there, beautiful, very prominently displayed.
Yeah, good, beautiful Ford American logo right there. But there's also another car in the V8 Supercars, and that is the Holden. And the Holden car is also very popular here on iRacing. We can get an onboard shot on there. And the interiors of these cars a lot different. And here's the Holden as they get an actual screen.
Yeah, I thought, they have the screen there. Holden, that of course, changing the car more or less. Recently, and then Ford followed a couple of seasons later. Certainly that this has made renewed the interest in what has always been a great series, the Supercars series, but now even more with this new machinery, and a lot of big teams, not only from Australia but from the United States as well, Penske, Andretti among the others, really getting invested in the series, and it's great to see, especially considering that the series was in trouble of getting a bit on the back burner because of some spotty manufacturer involvement, especially in the part of the last decade, of 2005, 2015, 16, when Ford basically did not support any team as a manufacturer, and that was the best period of Ford before the current period. Of course, they have Scott McLaughlin and the DJR Team Penske really at the forefront, being the car to beat for the past 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, it especially is, and Sean McCarthy just putting in a few good laps right now, and that Ford Mustang, but would love to see more involvement in the V8 series because it is a very good series. I can't really watch it here in America because they really lock on their broadcasting here, so it's not as popular as it is around the world, but I do. One of my favorite series does run alongside a few of their races, and that would be the Stadium Super Trucks, which have been rumored to come onto iRacing for a while. It's just that hashtag iRacing soon.
Yeah, hopefully one day they will come, especially because they need to just do some of the racing tracks. I mean, not redo, but they
add a jump.
Add jumps, yes, exactly. I want that one. Was it at Texas where they had the jump over the inside wall of the oval? That
Yeah, jump down there, and there's a massive crash there. Then they had one where it's just like a figure 8 track. One jump went on to the inside of the other one. The Coda jump though, at the top of the hill, and then you go through the wall. In the short course, they didn't remove any of the safer barrier, by the way. They just managed to just stick those very wide trucks through a very small hole. And I sat right there at that race, and I was surprised that they managed to just do that. And a lot of lockups happened there, and surprisingly, only one incident.
So we have just a couple of minutes left in this practice session with, as I said, basically everyone that signed up for the race on track, and only one driver has yet to set a valid lap. And you can see that at the front it's 0.3 of a second between first and second and third, and then fourth place Andrew Bicari is very, very close. 4 Holdens in the top 4. Of course, here on iRacing these cars are identical in terms of physics, in terms of setups, but of course everyone picks the preferred manufacturer, or if he doesn't have any particular allegiance, they just pick the car that they think looks better. So we have here some nice, almost throwback liveries. For example, this Vodafone. Yeah, even though the Vodafone car was a Holden for better part of the last day, but it was one of the best liveries ever. So
Len Gerber's livery, I really like that one.
Yeah, that is also very, 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 very cool. Certainly it will spark in the distance when we see the group at large. As we have 2 minutes left, and here they are at Acqua Minerali. Now I've commented
up top.
Yeah, I've commented on plenty of races for the V8s around this place. Expect to see some spins of cars in the second Acqua Minerali coming up the hill, because that place is like a crash magnet for this car. I think it's because of the weight transferring that's so important. All of a sudden the car is so unbalanced, and you see guys sometimes even fly off the racetrack because of the way the cars behave themselves there.
So you're telling us to expect some... oh no,
okay.
Len!
Yeah, around...
You saw the brakes of that car just light up, but not the front of the brakes, only the rear brake has... oh, okay, Charles is wiggling around. And
yeah.
No.
Oh, ouch. That's a massive crash. Engelbrecht and Joubert, they made contact. As we go back to the beautiful Team Vodafone livery tribute of... these guys are already getting some race practice, I think, Austin, because we are surely going to see some extracurricular activity, I think, during the race itself.
How extra are we talking about?
A little bit, rubbing is racing, no?
As a open wheel driver, I highly look I highly look down on that situation, but in the V8s, from what I've seen, yes, these guys are definitely going to be rubbing just a little bit, maybe a little bit too much, and we're going to see a lot of brakes locking up.
As we are waiting for the qualifying session, a quick recap of the format of this event. 15 minutes of practice, which are basically over. 15 minutes of open qualifying, so the drivers will be on the racetrack together, and then a half an hour race. Also, the drivers will have each 3 fast repairs, so basically they will have a brand new car when they jump into the pits should they have damage. They have 3 of them, so hopefully no one uses all of them, but they need to be careful, Austin, because 25 incident points is the incident limit for tonight, and you get a drive-through penalty after 15 incident points. So gotta be careful, especially because we are expecting some extracurricular activity, as we were saying earlier. So here we go. Drivers already making their way onto the racetrack. Track position will be crucial, not only to avoid traffic, but also, I think, Austin, to avoid speeding cars in front of you and other situations similar,
Yeah, qualifying comes on. And one thing I love about these holding cars, they actually flash the lights when they're pit lane.
Yeah, they do. It's so in real life, usually you will see that if you have two teammates, so a team has a couple of cars, one of them when in the pits has the lights off, and the other one has the blinking lights, and this is to differentiate the both of them, because if you have 2 teammates, and they are entering the pits from a distance, the liveries are identical, like NASCAR team. So the number is so small, as you can see right now, that that is a good way. The bottle of Ford! This was one of the best liveries, I think. The green one was even better, I think, driven by Dave Reynolds, of course, and sometimes by the Incanto when they used to race in the Enduros together. Beautiful livery, one of the 4, would I say, official Ford teams of the Ford Performance cars were 2 of them were the Pepsi Max team. One was the Bottle car, and the other was another Pepsi car, but I don't remember which one. So yeah, they had all 3 of them were under the same banner, and even today they have, I think now it's called Tickford Racing, not because back then, of course, the Ford Performance was managed by the ProDrive Australia outfit. So but they had nothing left of ProDrive basically, and then they switched to the Tickford name, which is basically the proper name. As you can see already, some drivers heading for some nice time into the Italian sand, which I can tell you,
McCarthy is he's doing the F1 strategy, just letting off the gas, letting everyone go past him as times are coming out of the board with these guys past the timing line as they're coming out of the pit lane. So nothing absolutely skyrocketing right now, but if we can get on board of Stephen McCarthy, and Marco can lead us around the track here at Imola.
Yes, you go to the start finish line and then to the Tamburello S, so left, right, and then left. Then you go to the short chute, which will bring you to the Villeneuve chicane. Now, there was a grandstand there on the right in the past. I watched the 2002 F1 Grand Prix live from there. We have a little bit of carnage. Then onto the straight, hard braking for the Tosa hairpin. To get as close as possible to that curb, and then try to use, you have a bit of leeway on the right side of the track, pushing hard, going up the hill to the left-hander of Piratel, another very tricky corner, because you can go very wide, very quickly, and then to my favorite main corner of all time, the Acque Minerali, double right-hander, also a beautiful corner. You have to be super careful, and what did I tell you, Austin? This second right-hander is treacherous for these cars, and as tradition of every broadcaster, the lap is aborted. So I can tell you that the cars that will go to the
Oh, you started
Variante
to slow
Alta.
down.
They go to the Variante Alta then, and that's super tricky. But you need to do the Variante Alta very, very, very nicely, because then you need to have a good run towards two Rivazza, the Rivazza 1 and Rivazza 2, the left-hander, another big braking area and a nice passing opportunity before going back onto the front stretch. Of course, we don't have the Variante Bassa anymore, so it's a single, like, long run from the second Rivazza corner to the Tamburello. So, track
Yeah, the
a bit, yeah.
I have a lot of very fond memories in the Rivazza corners of just me getting absolutely dive bomb going in there. And a GT3, F3 car, GTE car, Skip Barber car, USF car, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I remember once I lost my Skip Barber going down the hill towards the first Rivazza corner.
Oh wait, that was you that one time. That's right.
And I basically lost control of the car, went backwards, spun across the grass, and killed an innocent bystander that was entering the second Rivazza corner. Because basically,
me.
No, not you. I clearly remember that not being. I mean,
I had an incident just like that.
Yeah, you know, Skip Barber drivers are a bit crazy.
And that's why I love it. But also more crazier than Skip Barber drivers are V8 supercar drivers.
They are. I was lucky enough to commentate on the Euro V8 championship for more than 2 years, basically. So I've seen these cars on the most different of racetracks, and like I said, they were almost always here in Imola every season, and that track really, you know. But you can race these cars. These cars are so beautiful in real life, as Engelbrecht goes wide. They are so beautiful, these cars, because you can race them in any kind of racetrack. Grade A circuit, crazy track like Bathurst. They do a lot of street course racing. So, for example, you can bring these to Detroit here in iRacing, or to Montreal, and would be great as well. So versatile, and to be a good driver, to be a champion with the V8s, you absolutely need to be a driver that can adapt to any kind of racetrack. And also in real life, of course, not only do they race on very different racetracks throughout the season, but they also race anywhere from sprint races to feature races to enduros. So
yeah, V8 is a very unique series, and because of that, it's kind of like it's if NASCAR met IMSA, I would have to say.
Yeah, I would agree. Absolutely. Now they also have a night race. Yeah, that's for the past couple of seasons at Sydney Motorsport Park. So always evolving, always looking for. And again, thankfully, despite the fact that Holden and Ford are looking to remove their footprint from the Australian market, the fact that we have so many big teams involved now on both sides of the trench, you know, both with Ford and with Holden, is absolutely fantastic. That, you know, these teams are investing in V8, like I said, Andretti and Penske and others. So yeah, some previews of the in-race shenanigans here as the cars, these two drivers, make their way through the Variante Alta. This is Ginsburg, number 12 car, as Botha goes into the provisional pole there, Austin, 44.559, 2/10 of a second in front of Gerber, and let's say 3/10 of a second in front of Fourier. This is your top three.
Going that Jonathan Shelby at that number 5. And that Mustang, he's coming across the line right now. Jonathan is going to jump up to outside of lap time because he went off the track. Qualifying scrutiny much stricter than the F1 times, as if you go off track, your time is invalidated, as Engelbrecht is way off the track in turn 1.
You are absolutely right, Austin. It's for sure, it's very tough on racing. I have to say that Imola one of those tracks where you can really extend the track limits. They did a very, very good job to try and blend iRacing strictness with real-life track limits. So you can extend the track limit just a bit more, but don't expect miracles. If you go wide, you're going to be tagged with that 1x, and the lap time will be invalidated. So you have to try again. So right now we have 16 drivers with a lap time. Some of them, especially towards the back of the field, clearly have just put in a banker lap and they're trying to improve as soon as possible. Only one driver doesn't have a lap time. Two of them, in fact, Jonathan Selby and Willem Wiener, both of them still to record a valid lap time, and they will be, if things stand this way, at the back end of our 18 car grid, as we have a beautiful Holden Racing Team livery just in front of us. I mean, even the Irwin Tools livery, another historical Ford livery from the past. I have to say, fantastic job from the drivers. A great taste in liveries today.
It absolutely is. I love these liveries that are coming out of these guys right now. Looking at Villers in 9th place. Engelbrecht is also off the track again. Villers taking that cover scheme.
Yeah, of course. Reminds me of the great cricket player from South Africa, A.P. de Villiers. So probably maybe they are related. I don't know how common that last name is in South Africa, but yeah. Did you know Austin? I'm a great cricket fan. So.
No, I don't even know what cricket is.
Oh wow, come on. Hopefully no one in the chat takes offense, because in South Africa is a very, very, very big sport. So.
Just letting you know. Not really known. America not really known for its cricket, but I have looked into it. I'm just like, oh, it's just more complicated baseball.
That's a nice way to put it, but yes. Oh man, I really miss some good cricket. Hopefully we can get the World Cup back soon, and South Africa always in the hunt for first place, no matter if we do one-day internationals or 2020 in cricket. So
though I do have to say, I love cricket stadiums. They are extremely unique.
Yes. They absolutely are. And the fact that you can put on the cricket game in the morning and it ends basically 7-8 hours later, if they are doing the one day, or it can last, of course, 3 or 4 days if they are doing the grade 1, the test cricket. You can basically the day goes on and you have the game as a perennial companion to your adventures. So,
and that's why I don't watch cricket.
3 minutes left, and at the pit exit right now is your qualifying leader. Bota is probably going for another lap. I don't think, of course, this being open qualifying, the drivers will have time needed to finish their lap. Should they, get should they avoid getting the checkered flag in the last few seconds? But so far, seems to be a very nice there at the front for Bota, with his pole position time of 1:44.559. Still, Gerber and Fourier are very, very close. Thanks McCarthy, Joubert, Piccari, McCarthy, Steenkamp, and De Villiers rounding up your top 10 so far.
Top 10 looking very packed, and that top 3 looking extremely close to each other. All of them within 3/10. It's just that sound as these guys race down the front straight.
Austin, we are getting closer and closer to the end of the session. I think that if people want to take away the pole position from our leader, they need to do something very, very, very surprising, because so far 2/10 of a second is not a lot, but it's very hard to improve, especially if you have to deal with traffic every time.
Indeed, it is. And that's the real hard part about a open qualifying session. You're going to have some guys that are just unfortunately going to block your way as less than a minute. A lot of smoke heading into the chicane and a lot of traffic right there. But Gerber, they do have a lot of clear track in front of them, and they're going to be getting some draft from Villers up ahead. But Len actually not improving on any of the sectors right now. He might get some improvement right here as Villers pulls off to the inside. Gerber coming across the line. He has the chance to do another lap. 15 seconds remain. Len comes across the line a second slower than his fast time, so he's going to stay on it again as 5 seconds remain in this open qualifying session.
Yes, one more chance for him then. Let's see Fourier coming across the line. Did he get the checkered flag?
No, he didn't. He just barely got past it.
Yeah, Gerber makes a mistake, so I think that's it for his qualifying run. He will have to be happy, at best with second place, I think. But Fourier is very, very close, but it is a fantastic lap. And I think you are right, Austin. He just got away with it. Getting the start-finish line just a few seconds, 1 second, let's say, before the checker flag drops. So he basically, makes a mistake, and that will be it. So, yeah, he will have to start from third. We have just a couple of cars left, but none of them are on a significant lap time. Therefore, we will just wait for the session to switch over, Austin, and we will be ready to race and to give you your starting grid.
Qualifying is over right now. I think we're just waiting for a few cars to actually just finish their lap.
This is the olden car. Yeah, I mean, what a beautiful take on a historical livery on a modern car. Back when the Tom Walkinshaw outfit was the Works Olden team, has been for so many years. HRT Tom Walkinshaw Racing. Now, of course, not anymore the Works team, but in a very, very important alliance with Andretti Autosport. So they have, they fell on their feet. I think that's how you say it. And yeah, here comes the car on the start-finish line. And this is of course Leonardo Biccari, number 4 car. And I think we're done, Austin.
Yeah, I think we are done, and we should find out in 3, 2, 1, and yeah. Not the cars.
No. Didn't work as planned, your magic trick, but I think it's going to be.
Which is why I'm not a magician. I'm more of a mentalist, as in I'm mental and I have no idea what I'm doing sometimes.
But I think that Leonardo will be kicked out of the track in a second. There is.
Yeah, he just got booted.
And now we can give you your starting grid for this race.
Wilhelm Baltha starts up on pole, followed by Len Gerber. Johan Fourier in third, followed by Robbie Tingas in fourth. Steve McCarthy in fifth, followed by Charles Jourbet. Sandro Beccari, Sean McCarry, Wilhelm Pinar, Jonathan Elgenberg, Andre Stinkept, and Garth Villers in 12th place. They're followed by Leonardo Beccari, Andrew Colbert, René Gilbert, Eugene Mannert, Cyril Ginsburg, and Jonathan Selby in 18th at the very end of the grid. It's a very short run up to the grid, as it's going to be a rolling start here in Imola.
Yeah, rolling start, interesting decision, but getting these things out of the line, off the line from a standstill, not the easiest thing, especially if you're not like a avid racer of the car. So, a smart decision in my opinion.
Very smart decision by these guys.
Yeah, the only issue, of course, with these new tracks in racing, which is a good thing and a bad thing is that they will have such a short run up to the start finish line, so no chance to warm their tires properly. But enough talking, time to go racing as they go down the hill towards Rivazza 1 and 2, and of course looking in front of them they see the town of Imola with people from on the balconies watching the race.
Yeah, if I ever lived in the city and I had everywhere to choose her, I would probably choose Imola.
Group is a bit spread out and in single file. Maybe this will be the decision to start single file. I think this will be it, Austin.
Well, lights are on right now. Pace car is in, and we're going racing here at Imola.
Green flag, green flag.
It's a very safe start, and one driver didn't take to the grid. That's Stenkamp. Oh, no, one driver actually just having connection issues already, but Balta leading out Gerber, Fourier, Tings, McCarthy. You're still top 5. A little bit of action in the midfield, though, as Andre Stenkamp and John Engelbert and Garth Flores and Leonard Beccari's off.
Yeah, one of the Beccaris is off, and you can see that golden car there. We were following in towards the end of qualifying as Fourier and Gerber are going at it with things just behind the third place car. This is number 1 machine. McCarthy following closely in 5th. That is Stephen McCarthy. It would be Sean McCarthy who's sitting in 8th with the number 8 car. But so far, apart from the spin at the back end of the field, everything looks clean in this first lap.
It's looking pretty good up at front. Both had a great start, but big lock up the Bottolo car. Unfortunately, bottles it in that braking zone, and he's going to have to be serving a slowdown penalty, I think, heading into the chicane. This is a great opportunity for McCarthy, trying to look around to the outside, but the Bottolo car very, very well placed in that chicane. Held that inside line right there, and up front about the 17 Fourier and Gerber going hot right now. This battle before Robbie Tikas, Stephen McCarthy, John Zorbe, and Sandro Beccari going pretty wild as well.
Australian commentators always call it the Bottolo car, so that was one of my dreams to be able to say it in a broadcast. As now there's quite a few things that you can see with Robert Beccari, the other Beccari, the other McCarthy, Pinar and Steenkamp, all super close as the first lap is in the books. And
McCarthy.
Yeah.
Charles Rivera is just hunting McCarthy and Tegans right now. I'm not expecting him to be making a move. Same as Sandro Beccari. I'm just expecting him to just be following those taillights as close as he can and maybe look for a move right now. A little bit of a wiggle for Charles right there, coming out of that corner. These back ends of these V8 Supercars, even with that massive wing they have, they get very loose back there.
They absolutely do, as we are on board with the old number 7 of Charles Robert as he's heading into the Piratella corner and down to Acqua Minerale with McCarthy and things right in front of him. Look how unstable they are through here.
Unstable in braking, unstable on acceleration, and especially unstable if you get onto one of those curves.
And now, of course, the massive braking area here, these big curves, which are really inviting, and of course, we didn't notice that, but Robert maybe needs to look more in the mirror because he found McCarthy trying to make the move looking on the inside, but too difficult to... Oh, but Roberto
off!
the grass.
Robert's off!
And Pinar also, the Engelbrecht.
And Engelbrecht.
Something must have happened there in the back. They are both back onto the racing surface and didn't lose any position. But Joubert went deep and lost the place. So
small mistakes like that can decide your entire race, but these cars, anything can happen here, as Fourier and Gerber are still having that battle for second place. I'm expecting just mistakes just to be causing this race.
Yes, because you are absolutely correct, Austin, especially because with these cars, there is no such thing as an easy braking zone, or a small braking zone. these things are very tough to stop. So every braking area, not important if it's hard, big or small, always becomes a passing opportunity, especially if you can force your opponent into making a mistake. So we'll have to keep an eye on this as well. That makes these cars so great to race, as this group as there were a bit more cars, but that mistake fractured the group just a bit. Now the top three are really running away from fourth and fifth, and then behind McCarthy, Picari, Joubert, the other McCarthy, Steenkamp. Oh, and the race leader makes a little bit of a mistake there. You need to be careful because of the Riante Alta is super easy to get a slowdown, both if you cut the curve too much and also if you go too wide on the exit of the chicane. So you need to be extra careful when going through there.
Yeah, you really need to. As Len Gerber and Johan Fourier racing nose to tail with each other, as both had a very bad exit coming out of that final left-hander, as they're getting a 10th on them already down the straight.
Yeah, the secondary part of this lap, of this last lap, was not very good from the race leader, who needs to get back into a proper race rhythm. I saw Steenkamp dropping like a stone down to P15 right now. He must have made a mistake somewhere towards the end of the previous lap, and now, of course, he's only in front of the cars involved in a mess at the start, so the carrying him. And here we go with the replay, and we can see
out of the chicane, a little bit too much mustard coming out of the chicane. He just glides up onto that curb. That's probably the most common mistake I hear and I see. Just get on that curve off the exit and around you will go.
Fantastic.
I see that way too many times in practice.
Yeah, fantastic stuff as per usual from Dennis Branch behind the cameras with that replay. I think up is still, and of course
what a
Austin,
save.
Yeah, he's not doing his tires any favor. Of course, they will probably be suffering already from that spin there at the Variante Alta, but now he was all sorts of sideways as we have now. Back this group with McCarthy, Picari, Joubert, and Pinar all together, more or less.
And as you mentioned, the tires, these cars have very low-profile tires. They don't have a lot of sidewall compared to most other tires. If we see the brakes just getting extremely hot on Stephen McCarthy's car. But yeah, not a lot of walls on these tires to, abuse them that much.
Yeah, absolutely correct, Austin. So now with the new tire model, things have changed a bit. But in the past, with the old tire model, if you had just the smallest of slides, you basically were on ice for the rest.
Big
mistake there.
Yeah, he's off and around and he's falling down. And yeah, that gap is way too big. As Sandro Carr's car, you just saw that entire thing just lunge forward in the brake zone. Let's ride with Charles Robert heading into turn one, and you're just gonna see just deep on the brakes, no real lockup, and it's just off the track and then boom onto the curb.
Yeah, those FIA speed bumps, always very, 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 very dangerous, I'd say.
Don't remind me.
They are
these speed bumps.
They are really, I think they do more harm than good. Even with these big cars, still they can unsettle them pretty easily. So, but back to the topic at hand, which is this beautiful races. Here we are following three beautiful throwback liveries with the bottle of Ford, the Irwin. Ford, which is now Holden, and the Vodafone Ford was Holden, as Engelbrecht has an issue, drops 2 places behind Devilliers and Colbert, so P12 now for him, Steenkamp up to P13 with Selby and Joubert, of course, having some issues. Laps that are going away quite quickly. We are already at 1/3 distance, Austin, and at the front the gap seems to be stable at 1.5 seconds, so almost identical lap times this last time around, just slightly quicker was our race leader. I think that we could have a very, very nice battle. It will be very important going back to the tires to see who is going to be able to manage their tires to have them in a decent state towards the end of the race, because you can really struggle.
Yeah, the tire's going to be very important here. Sandro almost gets to the back of Stephen McCarthy right here. And that early braking blunder is going to be very disastrous off the exit as Stephen McCarthy pulls out a half a second gap. You see Sandro right behind him.
Gary and McCarthy still very close forward versus Holden. The beautiful fight that has been the stuff of legends in Australian motorsport as they go up the hill with things pulling away just slightly with his Mustang, leaving hopefully he's thinking to leave McCarthy and Bicari to have some argy-bargy behind him without his presence.
Indeed. There you are, Stephen McCarthy. He's going to have his eyes in the mirror, but you don't really want to be focusing on the driver in the mirror that much because that's going to slow you down a lot. And if you get into a fight, that gap in front of you and behind you is going to increase and decrease. But Teams is loving it.
So 11 minutes on the clock right now as we are still following this fight, and we move very quickly to our race leader. You can see there Fourier has lost some ground in the last couple of laps, so right now it seems to be like a two-way fight between Bolt and Gerber, as seems to be number 14 Holden. Yeah, losing a bit of ground as McCarthy and Bicari make big contact.
They're racing off the track. Is this Baja?
I mean, one of them was on two wheels when we cut from the camera, so that must have been pretty... Ooh, look at that!
Oh no!
Oh dear.
Sandro Picard got very loose coming out of the chicane, was sideways, and then straight into... Got this ran straight into right there. Oh, a lot of damage on that Irwin car.
I mean, these cars are very resistant, but that was a pretty significant whack, you know? Very hard leak that these two cars had.
That was a proper shunt.
Yeah. See, of course, McCarthy will have to contend with a very damaged race car. Let's see if he heads into the pits for his fast repair. The answer is no, he will stay out. Of course, Jobert looking like he has a little bit of extra
pounce. He's ready to pounce.
And Bicari goes in for a stop.
Jobert looking down to the inside. He's sending it way down to the inside. Those brakes are locked up. Much harder than Alcatraz right there, but Stephen McCarthy held it around the outside, kept that momentum going, and Jobert goes off the track, trying to find any way to get into 5th place.
Yeah, a little bit of lawn mowing there from
and McCarthy's in the pits.
Yeah, Bicari is in the pits, and we have a
switch back.
And now in pit exit, so yeah, it is back to 12th place. Okay, so timing and scoring.
Doing timing and scoring things.
Yeah. But thankfully it solved itself very quickly, unlike some others real life timing and scoring systems, which we will not mention, but that have given us some scary moments all throughout this 2020 season. Again, we will not make any names, as we are heading into the chicane of the Variante Alta once again. Look at that. Different interpretations, of course. You can see Jobert. Oh, that could be a slowdown, you know?
Yeah, that is a slowdown. He served it right there. I found out a good way to fix that slowdown, and with the iRacing new slowdown system, you have 36 seconds to serve that slowdown penalty. In the upcoming corners, just shift up instead of shifting down. Just have a very bad exit. You're going to be able to keep going and not slow down that much compared to just dumping it all at one time.
You know, I never have to start slow down. The simulator doesn't know that I'm already very slow, so.
You and I are like neck and neck similar pace anyway.
Yeah, but now you have improved your pace with the new BL system, so I need to work hard to get to your level again.
That is true.
1 second now the gap at the front, so
it's falling down. Gerber is closing in.
I don't know if Bota made a mistake or if he's just getting into that phase of the race.
Tires probably.
Yeah, I mean a quarter of an hour in, and these tires are already basically reduced to half of what they were at the start, if not worse. Again, they will come to the end of the race in a very, very, very compromised state, these tires. So the driver that is able to save tires and bring them to the end of the race in a decent state can really profit massively in case of a battle for the checkered flag. So certainly an interesting point to keep in mind as we head into the second part of the race, as we're about to have a thunderstorm here. Thankfully,
oh yeah, I can hear that.
Thankfully, thankfully we don't have rain in iRacing, or maybe not thankfully, but because today is the day when in Italy they flick the switch from summer to fall, because temperatures have dropped. It's been raining all over the country since this morning. And yeah, and it's going to be more of the same for the entire weekend. Summer is officially over. It was about time. But of course, these guys don't care, because they are mostly on the southern hemisphere. And we say hello to the legend that is Johnny Brandon there in the race chart.
And look at Charles Jourdain looking around the outside of the car. They hold down that inside line, and this opening sector here at Imola is so good for side-by-side battling, because these chicanes, the outside line will work just as much as the inside line, as Stephen McCarthy almost got absolutely sent on by Charles Jourdain, and they're coming into the most dangerous part of the track.
Of course, Brandon, Euro V8 champion, TCR master, and fantastic driver. Such an honor to call his races for the good portion of 2 years. And so glad that he's enjoying this V8 action. Oh, look at that, a bit of a mistake there, going wide at Piratella is always something that's so easy to do. Now you don't have to force the issue here going into Acqua Minerali, because maybe you want to go a bit deeper and try to make back the time, but that is not the way it works, especially with this corner being super treacherous. But you can see Jobert, I mean, closing in on McCarthy. McCarthy, don't forget that he's nursing a damaged race car. So certainly with a tough job from now until the end of the race.
Yeah, we're here for the WP Masters V8 race here at Imola. And question in chat: what is WP Masters? And Dane's giving us the answer. I don't think that's right.
I think it's right. I think it is right. Dane Bird.
Oh, it is Province of South Africa. Oh, thank you, Dane, for that correction. And look at Charles Jourdain, got the speed down the front straight. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Jourdain sending it onto those FIA turtles. Getting his car up into the air and up in front into 5th place ahead of Stephen McCarthy.
Fantastic social media manager, Dane Bird. Always ready. Yeah, always ready with his answer. The only downside is sometimes he sneaks in screenshots of his car in the daily roundup posts on social media. But
yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad car. I have to say, come on.
I just say, in a post with the TCR and GT3, you have the screenshot of a McLaren.
Oh, one of these things doesn't look like the others. One of these things is not the same.
Look at that, 0.8 of a second now as they are heading into the two Rivazza corners. Still super close. Seems like Bottas is in a bit of trouble. And yeah, look at that. Gerber is really closing in this time around. And he's putting him under massive pressure. Let's see, this could be a fantastic and tasty fight as we are into the final third of the race. And we have 10 minutes left.
Now Andre Steenkamp right behind John Engelbrecht. I'm sorry. Thank you, Dane, for that pronunciation correction. This is main pronunciation. Oh no, Andre! Andre spun it coming out of that double right-hander. Luckily, no one else was involved right there, but unfortunately, Andre just lost a spot. Back to the battle for the front between Len Gerber and Wilhelm Botha.
Still very close. And look at that. It's such a beautiful thing to see these cars go on this racetrack. I might have
racetrack, really, but Imola is such a beautiful track, and these cars are very lively. It is very fun as William gets very loose. And here comes Len Gerber. As Borota trying to get his head back into that mindset after that small mistake. And that's the thing that most of these drivers struggle with. I know I struggle with a lot. If I make a mistake, I'm just battling myself through the rest of the race. And Len Gerber, when you see the car in front of you make a mistake, you get a little bit feisty. So it's a mental game here in Imola with these V8 cars.
You are like a shark knows that the prey is struggling, no? But of course you need to be careful. You don't want to make your move too soon, or maybe get too excited. Or, when you are there fishing and you're so excited and the fish runs away. And of course, one thing is to catch your opponent, and then another thing is to pass him. So we shall see some lap traffic. This could be some interesting spice. The driver there moves out of the way very gently. That must have been deviation, if I'm not mistaken. As we head once again up the hill.
As Wilhelm and Len still battling for the lead. Len just falling right there. 8 minutes left here to Imola. Very close fight for the lead here. And little comments about our HUD. Well, this is the SDK Gaming HUD, and you can find more information on the SDK HUD here on Apex Racing TV. And if you go to sdk-gaming.co.uk,
tell them that Marco sent you, and you will still pay full price.
Tell them that Austin sent you, and you get more perks, as in you get the Austin perk of America.
Eternal gratitude. Another lap and another, still they are super close with half a second away between the two leaders. So seems like Gerber is able to chip away a few tenths of a second each lap, and then when they come to the braking area, the gap increases just a bit, but then in the rest of the part, in the rest of the racetrack, it's seems like very smooth. Yeah, as Johnny Brandon. If Johnny Brandon says that the guy is driving smoothly, I trust him, because I've seen him do stuff in this car that I didn't think humans were able.
Oh, here comes Len. Len had a great exit coming out of there. He's closed down a 10th already off the exit. Looking in on 3/10 now. Ed versus the Dunlop car. Two great liveries here. Almost identical livery-based designs, but very different color schemes. There's a lot of smoke up ahead. Oh, and Len is so smooth, and Wilhelm gets very loose off the exit. He's defending in the middle of the track. That is totally legal right there. Heading into the chicane. Now, is Willem. Going to get a very bad exit once more, but no, Len gets the wiggle. And they have traffic up ahead. This traffic might cause a little bit of trouble coming into turn 1. Len losing a bit of time for the double left-hander. That traffic is going out to the outside of the track now. So inside. The grandstand. I love this opening straight here at Imola, the grandstand layout, how it's on the inside of the track instead of the outside of the track. Very unique.
It seems like Gerber is able to. He's quicker in the flowing section and loses a bit in the final portion of the lap. Of course, open setup, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that these cars might be set up differently. Of course, as I said, Ford Holden doesn't matter in iRacing. They are basically the same car. Look how much smoother he is in the corners there, as the lap car moves out of the way, and once again, through the Piratella left-hander, heading into Acque Minerali. Only 4 minutes and change left. So,
yeah, 4 minutes.
If Gerber wants to make a move,
now's the time.
Yeah, now
is definitely the time.
I think if he makes the move, he can clear him, because I think that Berta is really struggling with his rubber there. But again, you need to make the move, and I think Gerber doesn't want to force the issue, as the angle bracket goes wide there with his number 99 Ford. And now once again, see, look at the gap. Increase once again.
Very troubling, and oh man, that gap has increased up to 8/10. Gerber, very bad exit.
Porta goes completely sideways. Coming out of second. Look at again when they go from the Variante Alta onwards, the gap increases. You know.
Yeah, but I'm not sure who's going to have the better exit. But the draft here is very effective, as Botha gets a very bad exit, but coming into turn 1, much smoother on the brakes, and I think Gerber is just getting his head, as that's a Ford Mustang pace car. Oh wait, no, that's a V8 car. Just the wing's gone. And that was Ginsburg, I believe.
Yeah, new cars, but still the damage model remains the same for the rear end of the car. With basically you lose your baggage section, basically, in both cars.
Small push from Wilhelm. This might get nasty, this lap car. Oh, this might be a pick. And that was very good for Wilhelm. Len got the short end of the stick right there. He cuts the track, might get a slowdown penalty for that. Does not get a slowdown. Not all the entire car went off, but knowing from the F3 race here, I can tell you that any short mistake you can through that corner, you will get a slowdown penalty.
But that is vital breathing room for Berta there, because he got that lapped car in his best part of the track, which is basically from the Variante Alta onwards. And so he is able to create a little bit of a pocket of 1 second, now down to 8/10 of a second.
Through one corner for Len Gerber.
Yeah, I mean, he has always lost a bit in that section, and now he's gaining, so, you know, shows how much we know about this, because, I mean, he has always been struggling there, and now he's able to close the gap. And yeah, I think...
we might have 2 laps to go, because it is on the edge. So,
yeah, iRacing always errs on the side of caution and adds usually another lap if it's very tight. So
5 seconds. So it's not 3-minute time limit; it's more like 3 minute 5 seconds. Because we've seen moments where they do cross that 30 and they just keep on going.
Another lap car there at the front with the other McCarthy, the number 10 car, or maybe not, because it's no, that is a Picari, of course, in the olden racing team livery. Missing important bits of his car.
Yeah, that's a big chunk of this right there.
But it makes for better cooling of the engine.
You know, he's not going to have to worry about any grill tape. He has see the flash of the lights from the hold-in. And Willem getting very packed up right there. Len saw it, but Len got a massive wiggle coming out of the chicane, and he's going to lose time. And oh, Willem has to go off the track.
I think he tried to make the pass on the grass there. Didn't work. I don't know what lap car is doing.
Lap car is doing lap car things. 6/10 now separate them with just a straight to go. 15 seconds remain, and white flag is in the air here at Imola.
Yes, absolutely. Sale la Blanca here in Imola. Man, I haven't said that in ages.
Nostalgia. And both flashing his lights immediately. He sees the car ahead of him, and I thought that was a celebratory flash, and I just brought up the worst thought of me. But Gerber getting picked up by the lap car. Small pick off onto the exit now. 6/10 now. What an exit by Len.
If Berta is able to bring this home, he will show absolutely great composure. It's not easy to drive with a big yellow car in your mirror, but look how close they are right now. I don't know if Gerber will want to risk a move in the final lap, but oh man, he's
Gerber's going for it. He's going for it. They're bumper to bumper right now. Len looking down to the inside. This is not an overtaking spot, but you know, Len can do his stuff right here coming up. 3/10 now.
To have a good run through the Acque Minerali double right-hander. Both of them really need to do it, and it's not the smoothest of run for the leader.
Oh, both of them very tight. Willem gets very bogged down. They're both going down to the inside. Len Gerber going on to the outside. Willem defending onto the inside. Now swoops onto the outside, heading into the chicane. Gerber takes it well in line as Wilhelm goes into the skies as he jumps over the curb, making this more like a rallycross stage instead of having a drag race down into the double left-hander. Gerber, Botha, and Gerber early braking compared to Botha. They have a lap car in front of him, both heading into that double left-hander. Who's going to have the better exit? Wilhelm just a bit higher, half a second, and it's going to be Wilhelm Botha taking the win here at Imola for the WP Masters race.
Beautiful stuff, and I have to say, probably Gerber could have been a bit more aggressive, but I don't blame him. They are not fighting for the World Championship. It was a beautiful race, and maybe a track with a bit more of a clear passing opportunity would have sent it, because on that final lap he was so much faster. But in the end, Berta is the winner, and what a great performance it was, with Holden locking out the podium with Fourier in third position. Then the first of the Fords will finish in fourth place, so that is going to be the car of teams. And then Jobert in fifth place as the driver. As you can see, Berta is getting some nice parade lap, and now he parks the car as Gerber does some lawn mowing. One thing I was shocked of when I went to Imola to watch the Grand Prix is the amount of daisies in the grass runoff area. So, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of daisies and grasses, and I kind of wish we see more tracks have some foliage off the track. Kind of encourage some drivers to keep it on the track.
Okay.
As it's a massive smoke show right here, and I hope no environmentalist is watching this, because this is something that you do not want to see.
Beautiful stuff and great celebrations. We are just waiting for all the drivers to come home, which I think they will be in a second, and then we will have the final results from this beautiful V8 race, WP Masters from Imola. Just waiting on those last few drivers, and then we will go through the results. There they are.
I'm going to let you, Marco, take this one.
Thanks a lot, William Berto. Then wins the race in front of Len Gerber and Johan Fourier in third place. Robin Inns and Charles Jobert, Stephen McCarthy and Sean McCarthy, 6th and 7th. Then William Pinar in 8th place, Gardevilliers in 9th, Andrew Kulbert, Sandro Bicari, and Andre Stenkamp in 11th and 12th, Rainier Joubert in 13th, Jonathan Selby in 14th, Johan Engelbrecht in 15th place, Cyril Ginsburg in 16th, the other Bicari, Leonardo, in 17th place, and then Eugene Manuk rounds up your 18-car field for tonight. What a race this has been, Austin. Very exciting, very exciting finale, and it was really up in the air until the final corner. And this is what we want to have on Apex Racing TV, and this is what usually we get with when the supercars are around. So hoping for more of the same. It's been great to host these guys for this event.
That absolutely been fantastic. Great race, great qualifying, great practice session, and a great battle all the way up to the end. This has been a wonderful race for the WP Masters Series. I'm joined by Mark Brobner. I have Dennis Branch in the booth, and I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good afternoon, actually.